Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Joining us now is one of the stars of the BET Plus acclaimed comedy series, The Miss Pat Show. Welcome, J. Bernard Calloway.
Hello, hello.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
And so you're starring in the comedy series, The Miss Pat Show, but you're no stranger performing. You know, you've been in shows such as Law and Order, Blue Bloods, and movies as well, like The Taking of Pelham 123. What's your journey been like these last few years?
Oh, man, it's been a roller coaster. That's a great ride, especially through COVID. Man, it's amazing that we were able to even tape during COVID, because we taped our first season at the beginning of last year, 2021. So it was at the height of it in Atlanta. So just imagine just being in a bubble, going back and forth to the studio, and that's it outside of grocery shopping. Right? Because my brother got to eat. But the process has been really, really great. It's been a fun process. Because of COVID, I think that it allowed us to create more chemistry, because we spent a little bit more time together. Because of us not leaving out of the studio and staying in our trailers, and, you know, just getting that little camaraderie with one another as we tell Pat's story to the world. Yeah,
definitely. And obviously season 1 was critically acclaimed, Emmy nominated. And so you play Terry Carson, Miss Pat's husband in the show.
Yes, I do.
What's Terry like?
Terry, man, he's just like your average guy. He's a very hardworking, middle-class guy. He works at a factory, and he came into some problems in the first season to where we had to relocate his family to another place to create more work. So he's the provider. He's the anchor. He's the person that's, you know, creates the balance in the family. Okay. And even when he's going through, because of the way he approaches his family in that way, the family holds him down at the same time too when he's going through. Because, you know, a lot of times as fathers, we get the socks and the underwear for Christmas, and when we're hurting, people kind of don't pay that much attention to it as mom or one of the kids. But with this family, something happens to one person, it's like a domino effect, and it affects everybody in a way to help that person up who's down. And the great thing about our show is that in these given circumstances, in these situations, every family that you can think of from any background, any ethnicity, can relate to these problems. Okay, and I think that is the draw into our show. People are like, oh, it's a black story. It's you know, it is from an African American experience. It's Pat's experience, of course. But the thing that is universal about it are those issues, like a daughter coming out, letting us know that she's gay, or me being furloughed from my job, or my sister-in-law going through addiction problems, things of that nature. And then we get a chance to actually laugh at that pain, bro. Laugh at the pain.
That's great. Yeah, you know, you mentioned obviously kind of African-American centric, but at the same time, there's so many issues that are just universal that this show can just attach to anybody.
That's right, brother. That is correct. That is so correct. And I'm glad to be a part of something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. And as you said, like a lot of the show is kind of based off of Miss Pat's life, real life, and Terry's somewhat based off of her husband. Is that right?
That is somewhat based off of her husband, yes. We are two totally different folks. But as far as the storytelling is concerned, and the given circumstances and that he goes through life, that she presents to us, or to the writers first and executive producers like Jordan Cooper, who's the showrunner and one of the creatives and also executive producer. She makes sure they understand, hey, this is the story that I would like to tell about my husband. His real name is Gary, okay? And I actually met him. He's a very quiet guy, very laid back, very cool. You wouldn't even know he's in the room, you know what I'm saying? But physically, he's bigger than life, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to take some of those aspects of him and obviously spray some of that J. Bernard sauce on there for the storytelling.
Of course.
And obviously how they fictionalize stories like shows like this for entertainment purposes, to draw you all in as consumers and audience members, and get you all engaged and cry and laugh and love and get angry all at the same time in the one. A big old ball of just confusion and everything that can happen in life. It happens in this show.
That's great. Yeah, sounds like the set's a lot of fun. And
it truly is.
Yeah. And what got you into acting in the beginning? Because I think you were a college football player before that, right?
I was, my brother. I was on the you're taking me back a little bit here. Yeah, I went to college on a football scholarship. I was majored in accounting and minored in music. Okay, so my father was ecstatic. But I always sang, brother. I was always a musician, always a vocalist. So long story short, I was singing on campus with this group. And one of the young ladies from the theater department at Alabama State University, where I got my BA in theater and a minor in print journalism, heard me singing, asked us to come in and audition for this show called Gospel at Colonus, which is an adaptation of the Greek tragedy Oedipus, right? So I go in, I was like, okay, I'll do this song without any music, and I'll do this monologue, whatever that is, and see what happens. And as they say, the rest is history.
You caught the theater bug.
I caught that bug, brother, and I think the best thing, and this is for kids out there watching right now, the best thing about this business is going into a program where you learn about the entire aspect of the medium, so you can appreciate it and have honor for every aspect of the medium, not just performing arts, but directing and writing and dramaturgy and wardrobe and the technical aspects of it, fight choreography. All these things make the whole of what one sees at the end of the product, right? At the end of it, which a lot of kids look at as immediate gratification. They see that final product, they're like, oh, I want to do this. This looks so fun. But they don't think about what happens from A to Y to get to Z.
Exactly.
So I always you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Even in what you do, my good brother, it's a lot that goes into what you do to get to where we at right now, where we are right now, to be grammatically correct. Yes?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of work that goes into all this that people don't see.
A lot of work that people don't see. So that is the gratification for me, is putting in that work, being a great storyteller, and people coming in and saying, hey, man, we love the work. You touch my soul. You evoke my consciousness. I'm thinking about things that I've never thought of before. I'm having conversations with people I never had conversations with before. And to me, that is the ultimate prize. Yeah,
it's great when opportunities can arise. And you've got your own production company now.
Yeah, Creative Couple Productions.
Yeah.
What
are you working on?
Well, right now, we're workshopping a lot. Right now, I'm working on a workshop called a piece by Ella Fitzgerald here in New York City. I'm also getting ready to work on Law and Order again. My wife is a vocalist. She works with Vanessa Williams, and she tours the world with her in concert. And we also produce concerts for herself. My wife's name is Carmen Ruby Floyd. She is a Broadway veteran. She can sing anything from Janis Joplin to Aretha Franklin to any of those classic divas from the MGM days back in the day. She does all of it. So with our aspect of what we do in the medium, going across the board with commercials, voiceovers, film, television, theater, and our own concerts, that is what forms our Creative Couple production. And we produce our shows and we produce these venues for ourselves to put money back in our part of the bill to gift our son, who's 5 years old, Jacob. So when he comes up, you pass it along. You pass it along. When he gets kids, he'll pass it along to them. So that is the purpose, as Shakespeare would say.
How exciting is it that it's gotten so much acclaim and then it's rolling into season 2, and obviously you guys are having a lot of fun on the set. What can people expect from this season coming up?
Healing, recovery, retribution, reciprocity. There's a lot of things that happened in season 1 that came to a head, and it was definitely addressed in season 2, but then as life happens, as you know, every day something else comes up, and there's other things to attack and other things to resolve within the family. So I think healing is probably the biggest adjective I can come up in my mind right now to think of what season 2 represents for me. These are relationships between myself and my parents, the relationship between Denise and coming back home. How do we get her back home? How do we help her to continue on the right track of her addiction? With the kids and them adapting to being in a new place and growing up into this place. Like, where are they now? How is Pat doing with her comedy on the road and going away and being away for so long and coming back home to life that has not stopped because she's on the road? We're here waiting on her. Okay, girl. Such and such and such and such. I'm not saying too much, but that type of thing. Once again, that is so relatable. That's the thing I love about this show personally. That I personalize for myself. To be honest with you, is that because I have the world that I live in. I don't just have African American or Black friends. I have friends from all across the globe, ethnicities, nationalities, background. So I'm glad that they can watch it and they call me and be like, Jay, I just went through this with my cousin last week, and we're trying to help them get through it. What do you think we can do? Because I saw your episode, and it really touched me and got me thinking about things. that type of stuff is the reason why I do what I do as a storyteller and as a thespian. So, and that's what this show brings to the surface that a lot of shows do not. I am definitely not hating on other shows, but I can only speak for us in the sense of the authenticity, the genuineness of reality that happens, right? And then we're able to take that reality and laugh at those things that happen to us. And that's where the healing happens.
Awesome. It sounds like it's going to be a great season. And I guess,
we're going to have a ball. We're going to have a ball.
Yeah. And beyond the Miss Pat show, where can we see you next? What do you have in the works?
Well, like I said, right now, currently, I am working on a workshop here in New York City of a piece about Ella Fitzgerald that will be coming to Broadway sometime next year. So we're just beginning to workshop that stuff right now. Also, too, once again, I'm working on Law & Order again. Matter of fact, I start working with them next week. Also, too, I am co-creative producer and also performing in a new series that I'm working on called Grim Grinning Guardians. It's a sci-fi thriller.
Ooh.
Can't talk too much about it, but I'll say that it has a lot to do with life and death and what happens in between that life and death.
Okay.
For the person that transitions and the people that are waiting for that person to transition to take them on to the next plateau of being. Okay?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I got a few voiceovers and stuff that I'm working on right now. So, because I do live in that world, and it's great to be able to do that. Given the times of COVID, you have your own in-home studio, and you're able to record from here versus going out into the elements a lot of times. So, that's what I'm working on. And I have to say before we go away, this has been a great interview. That the first gig, to be honest with you, is being a better husband, and the second gig that doesn't trump the first gig is being an even more awesome father. How about that?
Yeah,
those are the two major gigs right there, bro.
That's great. Yeah, I guess all I'll say is, real quick, just any advice for people out there trying to break into the industry, because I was mentioned before, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah. I think, in its simplicity, believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you for you. It's just like, how can you have to love yourself to be able to give love, right? So that is the biggest key for me to tell anybody coming into this business, no matter what part of the medium that they're in. I keep putting my hand over my face. No matter what part of the medium that they're in, is that if you believe in yourself, people will see your light, and they're going to know more about what this light is and what this is that this person is bringing to the table that is so attractive that I want to see or be a part of. So believe in yourself. As I believe in you.
That's great. That's great advice. Jay Bernard, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing more of your work in the future. And everybody, be sure to check out the Emmy-nominated Miss Pat Show on BET+.